A very good morning to one and all. Welcome back to mattkstudio. Today I have a special guest with me. His name is Samuel. Then the other part of the introduction, I'll be asking Sir to introduce himself.
Hello viewers, my name is Sir Samuel and I have been practicing counseling in school from last 10 years as a counseling psychologist, and this is a bit introduction about me.
Okay, that's great. So we have many questions to ask from Sir. Today is going to take a little bit longer kind of interview. So stay tuned with us. You're going to gain lots and lots from this interview. So we'll go directly to the question instead of wasting the time, right?
To you.
Okay. The first question, I think maybe most of the students, parents, or as an individual, you might want to know. I have collected from the net, which are very common question or a common doubt people are having about psychologists. Number one, what's your favorite part about being a counselor psychologist?
The foremost part is for me, according to my experience and according to me, it is an opportunity, to understand somebody else, and also to, it's a privilege to help somebody else who is in problem,
Okay.
and helping them to grow from their perspective, and also you're becoming the part of their life, and it's a kind of a helper in their life,
Okay.
so that they can grow by themselves, and providing the company of a guidance facilitator as a friend.
Okay.
So these are the things I feel as a counselor.
Okay. So mainly like you are acting like a parent to them.
It's more than parents, I can say. It's kind of like more like a friend, to a child.
Okay, yeah. We have seen even they are not so much open to their parents, right?
Yes, yes.
So they are more open to the counselor, and that's a very good thing. Then the next question is, what's your least favorite part about being a counselor psychologist?
Least part would be, I think sometimes, like we as a working in a big school like donbosco, sometimes we are not able to give ample of time to our clients.
Okay.
So I feel this is the least part of counseling sometimes.
Yeah, so you'll have numbers of students having problem,
Yes,
and
yes.
sometimes you won't be able to attend each and every individual.
And sometimes we get burnout, we cannot go beyond, counseling. At least we can do 3 or 4 in a day. But sometimes when it goes around 7, 8, even the counselor themselves, get roasted up or feeling like, burnout. You feel
Yes.
stress after that.
Yeah. So many counselors will have what to say their own uniqueness. Okay. So the next question is, what is your strengths as a counselor psychologist?
Uh, for me, I feel having to do counseling is the essential part is to understand your client from their perspective. Like it's kind of empathy, you try to understand their problem from like your own problem. So it
Okay.
enables the counselor to understand better from their perspective.
Okay, looking at us, they will also understand we are from a tribal background,
Okay.
born and brought up from a kind of hilly area. Our mental set is different. So when you are going to counsel with people having different kind of background from different kind of society, do you find it difficult sometimes to understand the real problem?
See, when I started my career as a counselor, yeah, it was quite difficult, when I started as a counselor in my first year. But as I was working day by day, I started understanding their culture better, their language better. So when you know their culture better, their language better, their custom better, their religion better, it enables the counselor to tackle the problem earliest. So it's more of like being a counselor, it is important to be open up to all the culture and irrespective of religion and caste and creeds.
Okay. Next question. Can you describe the role of a counselor psychologist? So we have many kind of psychologists, but in particular, counselor psychologist, what is the main role?
Counselor is like, I feel if you're working in an organizational place or even if you're working in a school setting or educational setting or big institutions, mainly the role of a counselor I feel is kind of mediator, playing a role in between the parents, in between the management,
Okay.
and in the life of the people and the students. So it's kind of like third party, who is doing the confrontation between the two parties.
Yes, I have experienced that. I'm already 1 year married. Okay, so when I was newly married, as an individual, I approached her and he helped me a lot, and lots of problems were solved because of his, counseling. So even in future, if you want help from sir, I'll put his number. You can call him. You can approach him for counseling. And can you tell me something about? Let's go back to your background, okay? Where you did your education, and after that, which is your first job, and all these things. If you can share a little bit, people will come to know more about it.
Okay. Actually, I did my masters from Bangalore, and after completing my master degree, I worked in some of the school as a counselor, and then I worked as a counselor in international school that is in Dimapur. And also I work as a psychology teacher for 8 years.
Okay.
And even here in Donbosco Silchar, I'm working as a counselor, plus I'm working as a psychology teacher.
Teacher, okay. That's great. I also did my engineering from Bangalore, so we are doing our education from there. So it's nice. Those who want to do higher studies, you can go there, or if you want to go further studies in psychology, sir is there to help you. Okay, you can always approach. So let's go back to the next question. In your opinion, what are the most important skills for counselor psychologist?
If the most essential part is, the first element in counseling is to listen. Listening is one of the skills. It enables. Sometimes we speak more than we listen to others. That's how the problem comes. Now, if you see even in a family, if you're a good listener, you will be surrounded by many people because you're a good listener. So even in the counseling, listening is one of the essential skills, and it is a part. So it's basically, whenever the student comes for counseling, it is my job to listen to their problem first. Not my theory, not my intervention planning, but the first skill that we use is to listen the problem of a student from their perspective. So I feel this is one of the most important element in counseling.
I think in every field, even as a student.
Of course. As a student, as a husband, as a parents, as a teacher, I feel this is one of the most important element to listen to others first.
Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
Tell me about the non-verbal questions you look for during a counseling session.
During the counseling session, basically we observe the body language of a client. Sometimes they are unable to express their feelings through words because they feel like betrayed, or they feel like depressed, or maybe they feel ashamed to say certain words. So sometimes it is essential for a counselor to observe the body language. Sometimes you get certain information through their body expression, body language, which are not been expressed in the words.
Okay.
So this is one of the essential information that we get through non-verbal communication with the client.
I think in your first session with them, they might not open up.
Yes.
Or maybe till the last session, some might not have the courage to open up.
So sometimes, based on that, when they come for the next week, counseling is not only one session. Some problems take 6 sessions, 7 sessions. So sometimes in the first session, we do not ask them the question, but we note such
Okay.
body languages. Then as they become more comfortable, become more confident, then we begin to ask such questions, because that is also an important part of their life. It's enabled them to find the solution in their life within through non-verbal communication.
Though people might think counseling is difficult, but when I listen to you, I think it is more of a kind of interaction with the people,
Yes,
and it's
yes,
very lively.
yes,
You
yeah,
will really enjoy your,
yes, yes. It's
your
more of
teaching.
like, you're available for somebody else, listening their problem.
Yes, so it's very, it's very interesting. I think I also have to learn
Yeah, yeah, of course.
some of the psychologist kind of techniques so that I
Yes.
can handle my students
Yes,
sometime.
yes.
Okay, it's very interesting. Okay, let's move on to the next question. This is very not known to me at all, since I have taken it from the internet.
Mhm.
Explain what CBT is and your experience with it.
Basically, CBT is cognitive behavior therapy. Okay. This therapy is one of the shortest form of therapy, and this is one of the most efficient, and most of the psychologists, they practice this. And this is more has to do with like behavior modification. Like suppose a child is very naughty, so we try to use some of the therapy. It's more of like changing their behavior adaptation. And some people, they have a problem in their thinking, so it's more of like replacing their irrational thoughts with the rational thoughts. And these therapies are based on psychological basis, biological basis, and sociological basis. So this is combined of so many therapy together. As together we call it cognitive behavior therapy.
I think this not only a counselor, as a teacher, as a parents, I think we need to learn this part.
For this, especially in the ethics of psychology, like in order to practice cognitive therapy, you need to have a certified certificates from certified universities.
Okay.
So along with your degree, you need to have a diploma in such therapy. Then only you are eligible to practice cognitive behavior therapy. Otherwise, it is not legalized to practice without knowing the cognitive behavior therapy.
Okay, yes. So that is not meant for teachers or parents. You need to study, you need to learn them. If not, the outcome will not be that positive. Okay. So always approach counselor for this particular kind of therapy. Next question. Tell me about an effective treatment plan that you developed.
Sometimes certain things comes through experience. You can't just stick on one therapy. Different problem need different solution. Suppose if a person has a adjustment problem, so sometimes the simple therapy which can be practiced by everyone, I feel like listening to their problems. Sometimes when you listen to their problems, when you give time to them, ultimately, automatically by natural way, the healings take place in the life of the students, because they feel that there is someone who is there to listen to my problem. So sometimes just by listening and giving them company also bring healing. So this could be one of the methods which can be practiced by everyone. The other method could be like helping the student to understand. It's more of like called reflection. It's more of like finding the gaps where the problem is lies in. So these are some certain therapy which we practice every day in the school. So basically, counseling psychologists deal with only with the less serious problems, and the serious problems are dealt by the clinical psychologists and the psychiatrists.
Psychiatric, okay. That's quite interesting. So it's not always from the books what you have learned.
Yes.
Through your experience, you can come up with different kind of technique. Okay. Explain your experience with different types of counseling session.
I have been practicing counseling from last 9 to 10 years, and I have come across with many success stories and unsuccess. Success and unsuccess are the part of life. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. So the most problems were in the school that I found was it's more of like problem in the family. Parents say we are living on a modern world where parents both are working in the office, and the children are finding loneliness at home, and that that empty place has to be refilled, so they look for love in the school. So mostly giving extra time to those such kind of students also, make them to feel that there is, always a place to improve and learn, and there is someone always to listen to them. And there are certain problems like, sometimes bullying cases happens, so we give awareness programs to the students. Like bullying also is illegal, they might be under some IPC sections. So bullying is not good, and sometimes we give them life skills, how to make necktie. So counseling is not only about inside the chamber, but sometimes counseling also we go one-on-one counseling, group counseling, sometimes making them aware of certain things, and sometimes like they ask certain question like psychology is like reading people's mind or what. Actually, it is not. Psychology is all about like making them to know that studying psychology is all about knowing oneself and knowing others, and building better relationship with others. So this is what psychology is all about.
Okay. Yeah, that what you said, I have the same fear. When I look at the psychologists, but just by looking at me, they might be able to understand what I'm thinking and all those things. That fear is always there.
There is a notion, people, like psychology has such things.
Yes, like they have extraordinary kind of
no.
connection. Okay, so it's good. That part is clear for me now. Now, as you said, you have lots of experience about counseling. So you might be coming across some minor cases or the cases which can be cured easily. So even I think you will come across a severe kind of cases.
Yeah.
How does it affect your life?
See, cases and challenges, I can say. Okay, let me add on another point, that is challenges and the cases. Challenges is a male counselor and female client. Sometimes, if we are not able to maintain the professionalism with the students, the boundary, simple we say boundary. Sometimes, like there are certain boundaries are there that can be crossed by either by the counselor or either by the student. So that border has to be maintained. Otherwise, I hope many will understand what I'm trying to say. There are challenges.
Yes.
And coming back again with the same problem is sometimes, certain cases are there where like, people have a habit of cutting their, they make marks with the blades. They write their name of their boyfriend on their skin. They try to cut, such cases were there. So this is more of like bipolar disorders, they need attention. Because they do all this, like just for fun, or maybe at home there is nobody to listen to them. So they become more of like, looking for love. And if these loves are not filled, then they feel the emptiness. And they get depression, they become anxious, they become anxiety, then they move towards to bipolar disorder. Then what basically happens is that they begin to, make some marks on their, like movies we see, to Mary Kiran, then those, they get influence, they get influence from the internet. So they do such things. So such type of cases are a bit difficult to handle within the time frame that we get in the school. Okay. So these are the certain cases which are not solved sometimes, So that has to be, in such cases, we refer to some other clinical psychologists which are there in outside the school, because it's not possible to deal within the school time frame that we get. So sometimes we do refer when we are not able to handle such cases, because our goal is to bring a healing in the life of the students. So we look for multiple options with challenges.
Now, why I was smiling when you was talking about writing on the names and all these things. I have experienced that when I was in class 3, class 4. I have seen my friends were writing something on their hand. Still some marks are there. I also did that, but that's not actually. I'm not in that kind of situation where I have the psychological problem. It was a trending kind of thing those days.
Okay.
The mark is still there with compass, with the sharp pointed. We used to just write the names of our girlfriend or whatever it is. It was there. Okay, that's why I was smiling. So, some they are really madly in love with some, so they used to try to get that attention.
Kind of mentally ill they are.
Yes. Then, you are coming across so many people facing problem, they are approaching you. Then in your case, sometimes you might be demotivated. How do you always stay motivated in this kind of situation?
So mentally, when we were doing our masters, like we do for internships, like I have been to Arunachal Pradesh. So when we practice counseling psychology, see, counselors are not God, obviously, am I right or not? We are also human beings like a normal people. So we also do have supervisions, like when we are into problem. See, being a human being, we all have problems, but does not mean that that is the end of life. So, in order to tackle personal problem in terms of counselor, we do have supervision. Like supervisor is there, we used to pay them, then we get counseling because they are more experienced in terms of age. They are much senior than us, so we look for guidance.
Okay.
And we used to have sessions sometime with them. Sometimes when I'm not able to handle some cases, I do refer them. I used to ask them what kind of technique should be applied, what should be the next follow-up. So such kind of guidance we used to take up from our seniors, as well as we take counseling from our supervision, and that's how we remain motivated for our professional field.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So we have come across so many questions and answer from sir. You already know what are the main work of a counselor psychologist, and even in our school, I think after you joined donbosco, I have come to know about counselor and all these things. Before I was never paying attention, and even the number of the students are increasing a lot after you joined donbosco. So can you tell a little bit to my audience or to my family, YouTube family, the career option that you have, or what they have to do in their lower class in order to reach that particular kind of what to say, the standard or the level they have to reach, or yeah, can you give them some advice to the students?
Okay, see, lastly, like most of the parents, our all education system called so-called all education system, only engineering and doctor we think, am I right?
Yes.
So that's why a lot of students are there in science, a lot of students are there in arts, commerce, without knowing the career. So the role of a counselor is also to give a career counseling. For example, let me give an example of a psychology. Psychology also has a many branches, like neuropsychology is there. You have forensic, applied psychology, clinical psychology. For example, science students, if they study psychology, they can become psychiatrists, and after passing out class 12, they can go for after they can do BSc in psychology, then they can go for forensic psychology. So basically, this forensic psychology is a new department in India. They will work with the police department, they will work with the judiciary systems, and they will get good salary. It will be almost lakhs in a month. Then coming back to the clinical psychologists. Clinical psychologists are mainly like marriage counselor, and then you have health professional. These are all clinical psychologists, and these are the need of the hour in the medical field. Now, if you see in the government also, like the salary scale is 65,000 to 1.2 lakhs in a month.
Wow, that's
so
huge salary.
This even the present government has opened a lot of vacancies. The problem is that we are not aware of such career. These are new careers, These are not a new subject, but in India, I can say this is a new subject, especially for Northeast. Yes. But these are common subject in Bangalore, Delhi, but places like Nagaland, Mizoram, and our Silchar and Assam, these are a bit new happening subjects. So I feel parents should encourage if their children are interested. Suppose somebody studying in arts department, they also can go for clinical psychologists and counseling psychologists, and they can get jobs in the private school, and salaries are very good salaries they can get, and they can have a good life. I can say they can earn from inside, they can earn outside as well, like through counseling. And when you have a counseling degree, they can write UPSC exam also, they can write APSC exam also, they can go for NGO, as well as they can have their own chamber. So it's, psychology is a subject of overall. You can work in the NGO, But other subjects, I'm not saying these are not good, but compared to other subjects, psychology is a vast scope career oriented, I feel.
Sir already talked about the career option and all these things. So even in Silchar they started introducing what is a psychology subject, and here we have in Don Bosco also, and sir is the expertise in this. So if you want to take admission, you can come and take admission in Don Bosco. I'll put the number of sir in the video. You can call him, you can talk more in personal, whatever the doubt you have about counseling, the career, and it is quite interesting. So as a doctor, as a engineer, or as a working profession, you can also enroll in this, and then there are lots of career options, not only working as a professional, even outside as such. So it is a very kind of trending now. I think in every school they will introduce that.
Yes.
So you're most welcome in Don Bosco to learn psychologist. Yeah?
Yes.
Anything more you want to say, sir, before we end up the video?
I will just say one thing, like being a counselor, to all the viewers, that be positive, stay healthy, and love yourself, love others, and everything will be, like if you're good within yourself, there is no rules in your life, there is no stress, because if you're good within yourself, you know what to do and what not to do. So staying positive is not easy, but always remember, positive does not come from outside. Positive should be created within oneself. So stay happy, and God bless everyone.
This is great. So our recording is not done professionally. Students are on their exams, so during our free time we are making this interview. So if you have any suggestion, if you want to give us some more idea, you're most welcome. You can send your comment down there. In the next interview or in the next video, we will try to come up with a better kind of content in that. So thank you everybody for watching. Do subscribe, and sir also has got a YouTube channel. I will give the link there, so you can subscribe his channel also. It's very interesting. He has got some kind of vlogging, right? Same vlog. So thank you so much for joining in, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.